So, welcome to Media and Arts, and we're going to be looking at the college slash university sketchbook. So, uh, I'm just going to flip through this and show you sort of my art progress. This is a study of Jim Lee, a very famous comic book artist in the industry. I used to love studying Jim Lee's work a lot, especially his Batman stuff, ever since I read Batman Hush. And this is like a study of Ben Affleck's Batman from Justice League and all that. So not a great, not my best work. So let's see. Okay, I just sometimes I gotta cover up some things, but here is Superman. Superman. He's got his letter here. Yeah, there. I mean, you can you can see there was an attempt at the shading, but it's really not. It's a little bit. Here's another drawing. So this was back in like. This is not bad. I mean, considering I did this for my head, um, I this is the level I was about 7 years ago. This was like barely entering college. Might have even been high school drawings. I don't remember the exact years, but this is either late high school or early college. This is when I started really wanting to get serious with art and really challenging myself. So this is why I was really getting into the whole, um, you know, drawing people and challenging myself to draw. And I was getting better at it. I mean, there's like a boxer. A lot of these I did from my head. I've had that problem. See, ironically, that was my problem. I would always be too proud to use references, and yet everything I knew was because of reference. Like, yes, I drew this from my head, but I wouldn't have known how to draw this if I hadn't actually looked at boxing, um, or just muscles and this and that, just in general. So, I mean, even when you don't use reference, you still have it in your head from things that you saw already. So, this is a redesign of an old OC original character. I did this character back in middle school, uh, or elementary school, middle school. So I thought, hey, now that I'm better at art, let me redesign it. Yeah, this is not the greatest proportions, unless maybe it was a, maybe like a weird camera angle, but yeah, not bad, but it wasn't great with bodies. I would draw a lot of heads. Um, some of these drawings I kind of like just are more personal, or just so I'll share the ones that I feel like I want to share. Here's like a woman, or I guess like you could say a femme body. Yeah, you see like the hands just kind of. I mean, it's not bad, but like I can critique my own artwork just for a while. I could point out all the things that were wrong with it. Like, where's the, like, this is just like a patch of hair on top. This is like, I mean, this is Shrek. I wanted to draw from my head. Like, this is fun. What does it say? Spooky Halloween. Yeah, spooky Halloween. Here's like I guess a finger, index finger, and a thumb. I was just looking at my own fingers, I guess, and studying it. I remember I used to like cartoons and manga and some stuff like that. Um, let's see. Here's another drawing. Um, this is Batman, just with the eyes incredibly high up for some reason. Like his eyes are supposed to be around here. See, this is where you know where your art is nowadays, because I just look at this and I'm like I'm just laughing because I'm like I know why the proportions are so bad and what I need to fix, and it's just like, so here's a Halloween OC, again, not bad. um and the reason why I used to draw so much monsters is because I didn't know how to draw bodies and they were always complicated. So I would just like purposely warp the bodies, or especially fingers. It was so hard for me to draw hands and fingers that I would just do monster creatures because it would make it easier. So like if their proportions were wrong, I had the excuse like, "Oh, actually it's a monster." So technically his fingers are long because he's like got branch fingers or whatever, or so again, I had interesting concepts, but like I felt like I didn't know how to like expand on those concepts, here's a Pennywise drawing. I remember it was very popular. um it's just like I originally drew it from my head. But then I went back and looked at the reference picture and said, "Oh yeah, he's missing some hair here and there." And then I fixed it, and I looked at the reference and fixed it. Again, I was too proud to use references, so don't do that, please. When you need to use references, use them. Actually, the more reference you use, the better your art will be. Um, Even the most professional artists use reference. Even people who have photographic memory reference what they memorized in their head. Like you need reference, And here's Bane. I think this is Bane from like, I think this is from like the Batman Forever movie, the one that like a lot of people critiqued really harshly. I remember. This is Cyclops. This is look at the size. This body is so small, and the hand is just like coming out of nowhere. I mean, this is like, and then here, um I think I drew the head here, and the body was coming out so small that I just pretended like I did a cartoon version of him. There's a lot of that going on where I couldn't draw something, so I would use an excuse like to say, "Oh, actually, the body's small because he's a cartoon. Oh, actually, the fingers aren't great because it's a monster hand." Or like everyone has done a little bit of that. The classic like putting the character's hands in the pocket as an excuse not to draw the hands, or you do like these drawing excuses. It's fun. It's funny. Here's Wolverine. Um, is the hand backwards? I think the hand is backwards. I think the thumb's supposed to go this way. If he's kind of like slashing the hands this way, I don't know. It looks like someone is pointing their claws at him instead of him doing it. Yeah. This is and these are like some of my better drawings because I used to draw just only cartoons because it was so hard for me to draw before college. So I mean, I did always have like an artistic, artsy sort of creative sort of character. So, anyways, why are the eyeballs gray? I know I'm just roasting my own art. That's why I'm being. That's why I'm trying to say like this wasn't too bad. This is so some things that are not too bad. If this was a kind of cartoon shading, then this is not bad. I mean, the light source is up here, so yeah, it makes sense that the light would be up to here, and not bad, not bad. But this is all shadow. The light would be here, right? There would be light here, mostly here and here that kind of sticks out, and then there'd be like a bit of shadow here, and then but not bad. Here's Gentleman Ghost. It's a comic book study. The drawings that are like really a lot more nice like this are because this is a direct study of an artist. So like this artwork already exists on the cover of a comic book page. I just literally studied it, so this isn't like my own creation, so to speak. I just like I looked at the drawing here, and then I just drew it like here while I was looking there, kind of thing. It's an art study, I don't know what you would call that. Would you call that an art study or? Also, I drew it upside down on my sketchbook, so I don't even know what this is. I was trying to use oil pastels. I didn't know how to use them at the time. I tried to do like a person at a campfire, and then the campfire was burning, and I don't know, I guess in grass and backgrounds. Lesson learned. Here's a tip. When you use oil pastels, don't do it on a super small paper like this. Oil pastel are very thick, and it's got like this circular nub, So you're supposed to use like a giant piece of paper, or at least, you know, a pretty big size paper so that you can get in detail. This is way too small. This was like too small of a project for using oil pastel. So um, here's just like some like here's an eyeball. Those are very popular to draw. Here's like a nude study. Well, kind of nude, but not really. Also, like the legs are super like just increased. Like I like how the body just increasingly gets smaller and smaller until you get to this point, and then the same with the hands. Like you got big shoulders, and then it slowly gets smaller to the hands, and then you got the head that's like regular proportion. Like you see that, like up to here, the proportions aren't too bad, and then you get to here, and then you're like, wait a minute, why? Like why is it? It's like not really. Yeah. Here's a crazy character. Um, Kind of like a mix between cartoon and manga. I just had this like ink pen that I was using for a bit, and I liked it. So I, you know, this interesting concepts. You know, um, I feel like nowadays I can get more creative. I feel like I've studied more artists. I've used more references. I've looked at more things, and you know, and here you can see this drawing behind it. But here was like a Spider-Man study of a poster I had in my room. Here's the penguin that I was trying to draw from my head. Um, here's a Gucci Santa Claus I drew in 2017. Santa Claus, you can see Claws, and he's got it was like a gangster thing. I don't even know. I think I was just like trying to be edgy and cool. Um, I don't even know. Just I have no idea. I'm not gonna share this one. I'm not gonna share this one either. Let's share this one. This is cool. I think this is probably one of my more ambitious projects at the time. This is definitely something that I mean nowadays I could do this pretty quickly, especially if it's in this more simplistic style. But at the time it took me a while. I mean, it took me I think I was like at it for like maybe 2 weeks. Not like every day for 2 weeks, but like, you know, throughout the weeks I was just kind of working on the pencils for this, and then I just left the pencils like that for like 6 months, and then one day I came back to my sketchbook and I was like, you know what, I should finish this. So I went in and colored it with markers. So I used Ohuhu markers. They're really good. They work very much like Copic markers, and they're like a third of the price, and they've been doing good. I really like their markers a lot. It's worth buying. Anyways, here's like an alien. Samurai Jack's sword that kind of gets thinner right here because I couldn't do straight lines. Here's like a random guy, a clock. Here's like a building right here. I don't know what this is, just some random pattern. A puzzle piece. Look at that. Camera. Illuminati symbol. Here's like a king's card. Astronaut. Like a kind of reptile alien kind of thing. There's another little cool, cute little alien, yin yang. Here's a dice. Just like I was just trying to gather like all the things you would probably see in graffiti art on the street. So I mean, there's like a thumb, just random stuff. Really, here's like a guy's leg with a sock. Here's a fox. Here's the eye, the nose, the mouth. You can see the little, like a fox creature. Kind of like a chubby fox, and there's like another fox. Here's like a random guy's face. Here's another eye. Here's like a hand. I don't know what this is. This is a little duck. Look at that, tiny little duck. I don't know, circles. So there was a lot of things here. It was like a kite. I mean, just random things that I would think would probably be in a graffiti wall. Here's some hand studies. Yeah, I mean, this one's not bad. This one, it was just so hard for me to draw a fist clench that I just like gave up on it because I mean here was the pinky and then couldn't figure out where the thumb went, and this one I looked at my own hand. I just kind of drew my own hand, and then the other one I think I just kind of tried to do some of it from memory or something. I don't remember. Another hand study. Um, so you could tell sometimes I was more impatient. I just didn't feel like drawing. But I wanted to learn. That's how it's gonna be in the beginning, y'all. Like when you draw in the beginning, I noticed. Here's the thing about drawing is that the more you draw, it actually does build up your tolerance and your patience. Like I used to only be able to draw for like 20 minutes um for every and just draw like maybe once a week or twice a week the maximum. Or I sometimes I could draw for like an hour at a time or 2 hours if I was really focused, but that was like a big deal if I drew for 2 hours. Nowadays I could definitely draw for a lot longer, but also, I mean, just in general, I feel like I could draw a lot more time. And if you look at that, it looks like four different artists drew the same. Like it looks like I asked four different artists to come over and just draw something. I don't know why I was like so wild with all these different styles, but here's a back view of a person. Here's like the mouth and the nose and the eyes, and the hair. Not bad. Not bad here. This is actually kind of good. The eye, actually not bad. This one I was studying, how to draw circles and divide their proportions. This one I just have no idea. Just I would draw the eyes a little way too high. A lot of the time, I just didn't know where to place the eyes. So it's just to show you. This was a study of a kind of 1940s painting. It was like an advertisement for women in the 1940s, and you know how they used to advertise with like super realistic paintings, and yeah, this was a study of that. So it was, I don't know, I just saw it somewhere, I think. Here's a nose and a mouth. um, these drawings are like 6 to 7 years ago. Um, so yeah, this was like either late. All those drawings that I showed you were either like late high school or early college. Maybe it was early college. Um, and I noticed I've progressed so much because over the span of like a few, like these 6 7 years, I've just gone to like a lot more depths in my art. There's like a poison ivy inspired cover drawing. I was trying to figure out a kind of Disney-ish style, or I was trying to figure out some kind of style to work with. I think I was inspired by Batman the animated series for this kind of art. So I don't know. I remember I was trying to figure out what my art style was. Here's Spider-Man. I used to draw so much Spider-Man at the time. Here's one Spider-Man drawing. Here's another Spider-Man drawing. Let's see. Here's like a 1 point perspective study. There's another one. Not bad. I mean, this is good. But, I just kind of put stick figures to see where the people would look like from a distance. It was so abstract, these concepts for me. Like, it was so hard for me to understand how to put a person in a room in 1 point perspective. But, I mean, as I'm growing as an artist, I've just noticed how much I progress because I look back at these drawings and I'm like, whoa, like, I have learned a lot better proportions. I have learned that this arm is way too small and that the body is too small compared to the head. Unless it was a stylistic choice, but that wasn't the case. But like these are just examples that show me how much I've progressed. Like, I would know that the deltoid muscles here, and that I kind of just it's got to go here, and then I needed to divide this in three, not in two. But um, here's no, actually, this is not bad. You could really see this as a real person, right? I mean, kind of looks like Lady Gaga a little bit. I don't know who I was trying to draw. Maybe it was like from just, I don't know, something. Here's another hand drawing. Here's a creature character. I used to love doing these. I used to love doing a lot of monster, creature, sort of horror characters. Not like super horror, but just kind of kind of creepy aesthetic. Again, I didn't know how to draw fingers that well, so I just kind of made them monstery and sharp. I was a lot better at drawing like sharp lines for fingers than like rounding it out, because if I rounded it out, it looked like sausages, and I didn't want that. Again, here I kind of knew somewhat how to draw hands and somewhat how to draw things, but I didn't really solidify those things. You know, like I somewhat knew how to draw the nose, somewhat knew where the cheek, you know, this and that. But I felt like it's been like to really solidify those concepts, to kind of really study those, have taken me years to really get that, you know? Here's like an iguana, that actually is pretty good. I mean, look at all the little individual, um, little flapper thingies. I don't know what these are called. Um, yeah, I mean, I just didn't finish it because it would have taken way too much time and detail, but this is pretty good. I mean, this is not bad. Um, I was getting better. I mean, this is like, this sketchbook ranges from 7 years ago to like a few months ago. Most of the like half the first half of the sketchbook is like most of my university years, and the second half of the sketchbook is like the rest of my university plus a little bit when I afterwards. Um, and when I say my university sketchbook, I didn't draw these in class. I drew these just in my own free time at home. I do have a sketchbook from my school, like from my class. I can show that if you guys want. But I want to clarify that all of these sketches and drawings were not done in school, like as in like they taught me this. A lot of this was self-taught. Unfortunately, my school was focused more on like contemporary art, and not like traditional art and fine arts as much. So I really wanted a school that would teach me all this anatomy and proportions, and they just really didn't. But, you know, I kind of just decided to stay because I still got the title of fine arts, but, you know, it's a whole story. But yeah, here's Terry. So yeah, this is pretty much self-taught. I'm almost entirely self-taught. Um, but, you know, self-teaching is also kind of just like, you know, studying from other artists, uh, looking at references, uh, looking at anatomy books, and but I had to do all those things myself because my school was supposed to teach me that, I think, but they didn't really do that, so I had to just kind of learn it on my own. But anyways, there's like Terry Crews. This, I mean, I don't know if it looks like him, but kind of. This is the dad from Everybody Hates Chris, that famous show that was out. Can't show these drawings. I'll show this one. Another Spider-Man. This was like a study of a Spider-Man drawing of a poster I had in my room. I guess I could show these drawings. I'll show this one. This was a skeleton drawing that I had. Actually, I remember at the time, this was like one of my most detailed drawings, like one of the most detailed drawings I've had like ever for the time. Um, Although it's really detailed, like when I look back at it, I'm just like, the lighting is kind of off. At least I understood some parts of lighting, but it was a bit more simpler, the shading. Like, yes, it has a lot of lines and detail, but for example, if the lighting was coming from up here, then there would be like a shadow being projected from the skeleton's head down here. So this would be pretty dark, and then this would be pretty light. And then, you know, maybe like it would be, you know, a lot of the light coming in through. I think the light source is probably up here. So then this doesn't make sense. Again, like I wasn't really, I knew I was learning it, so I was kind of getting there, but you know, um, so let's get this drawing. This was 2017. This is November 8th, 2017 that I drew this Spider-Man. Not bad. Honestly, not bad. I just kept drawing the same pose though. Oops. It's my alarm. Yeah, so that's the, I'll show you one more drawing before I end this video. This is part one. If you want more of this, let me know. This is Batman in like 8 different styles. And there's a drawing behind this, so it's kind of hard to see this. But so here's Jim Lee. Jim Lee, different comic book styles. So this is Jim Lee's comic book style. This is Kelly Jones's comic book style. He does more of like horror sort of drawing. He's a really great artist. I know here the artwork looks a bit weird, but his art is really good and underrated, especially with horror stuff. This is Greg Capullo's art. He was very famous during the New 52. Frank Miller, back in the Dark Knight Returns comic. This is Alex Ross's style, although it's a little weird, awkward looking the way I drew it. This is Tony S. Daniel art style. He was a very famous comic book artist during the New 52 at DC. This is Jim Chung, another artist who was around a lot during, I think it was during after DC Rebirth. Haven't seen him around lately. And this is supposedly my style, but I just kind of made it up as I went along. So, yeah, so this is just, these are some of the drawings that I had. I had a lot of sketchbooks, and I've drawn so much, and yet here we are. I'm still drawing, still learning. So you can just be an artist for years and years, and there's always something to learn. It doesn't matter. You could draw for decades, and, But the cool thing is, the more you draw, the easier it gets. It definitely does get a lot easier to draw what you want from your head, to draw cool things and expand on your art, That's the cool part, So don't be hard on yourself. If there's certain things you can't draw, or if you want to draw better one day, it takes practice. I know everybody says this, that it takes practice and experience. Yes. But you have to know what to study, what to experience, what to practice. Because if you're drawing the exact same thing every day, that's not really going to do much for you. You gotta expand on what you study. Try to study many different artists. Just study a few that you like. And don't give up on your art. I would definitely say just keep at it. Yeah. Anyways, that's it for this video. It's already been going on for long enough. And I'll see you on the next one.